Hi, everybody, and welcome to Healthy Bites. Healthy Bites is a collaboration between Nevada County Media and Nevada County Public Health. My name is Shauna Schultz. I will be your host today, and I'm really excited to be able to show you a recipe that is healthy, it's tasty, most important, it's affordable, and it's pretty easy to make, and it's also very family-friendly as well. So in today's episode, we will be making a green pea guacamole, so kind of a twist on guacamole. And this recipe, along with a lot of other healthy recipes, can be found on eatfresh.org. And I've wanted to add also just a little bit more about myself. I am a nutrition educator and registered dietitian for CalFresh Healthy Living. And CalFresh Healthy Living provides nutrition education and physical activity education out in the community. So let's go ahead and get started. So we'll do a quick review of our ingredients. This is pretty simple to put together. We'll be using some green peas, avocado, of course. We have some cilantro, some green onion, lemon, garlic, salt and pepper, a little hot sauce for a little kick, and then the orange pepper here is just for a serving suggestion, so more or less a dipper. So we'll be cutting that up at the end. All right, so we will use a food processor for this, and you could also use a blender as well. That would be fine, but we'll get started by putting in the green peas, the cilantro, and the green onions, and also the garlic. So I'm just going to give these a quick chop before we get them into the processor. And they don't have to be exact because everything is just going to get blended up, but it helps just to cut them down into a smaller size. Now, cilantro is one of those herbs where you can use the whole part, you can use the stems, so you don't have to go through the tedious act of picking up all the leaves before you put the cilantro in. But if you prefer not to have the stems, of course, that's something that you can leave out. So just about a large handful of cilantro. We used 2 green onions, and then we'll use 1 clove of garlic. So to get our skin off of the garlic, you can lay your knife flat on the garlic clove and take your hand and give it a hard push. And it really makes the skin come off very easily that way, so you don't have to get garlic under your fingernails, which is always a bonus. All right, so let's get our food processor. Right. Green peas. These are frozen green peas that have been thawed, 1 small package. It's probably about 1.5 cups to 2 cups. You could use fresh green peas when they're in season, and that would be lovely. I would just maybe give them a quick steam or blanch them quickly before you put them in with the rest of the ingredients. So let's add our cilantro. And we'll add our green onion pieces. Just like that. I'm going to give this garlic clove a few little slices. We'll add that. And we're going to give this a quick process. We can just probably put it on low, just until it's mixed together. And then we will add in the rest of our ingredients. There we go. Sometimes this lid is tricky. All right. And you might need to stop occasionally and just kind of push down the sides, especially if you have like a bigger canister like I do on this food processor. All right, we'll give it one more go around. think that looks good for now. And the green peas in this guacamole, well, first of all, they give it a nutrition boost. You're adding a good source of fiber and also a little bit of protein. It's also a great way to sneak some veggies in, like if you're feeding kids or maybe other family members who aren't fans of veggies, this is a great way to sneak them into something. And the greenness of these peas, especially along with the lemon juice, really help keep this guacamole vibrant so it doesn't tend to brown or have that oxidation like other guacamoles might or avocados when they sit. So several bonuses here. So let's add our avocado. We're actually just going to use a half of an avocado in this recipe. I wouldn't object if you added the whole avocado though. Now I chose this recipe for today because July 31st is National Avocado Day. So I thought it would be fun to just do a twist on guacamole. We'll add the juice of 1 lemon. Now to get our lemon a little more juicier and get more juice out of it, we'll give it a quick roll on the cutting board. This guacamole makes a really nice, healthy snack, and adding the green peas also just gives you more volume, so you get more to eat, which is always nice. It's easy to eat a whole avocado quickly, but this takes a little bit more time. All right, so we've got our lemon in there. We'll add a little bit of salt and pepper. Just do this to taste, but a few pinches is probably fine. And then we'll add a little bit of hot sauce. Of course, if you're not a fan of spicy things, you can leave this out. If you really like spice, you could use a super hot sauce, or you could use some fresh or roasted jalapeno, and that would be really lovely. All right, so let's finish this off here. We're just going to give this one more processing or blending until it's blended well. It doesn't need to be like really smooth. It's really just kind of more rustic, I guess would be a good way to describe it. And that should do it. It smells so fresh and so yummy. I'm excited to eat some. I'm going to serve it with some bell pepper slices, but you could use the old good standby tortilla chips. You could use radishes. I think jicama would be really nice. Carrot sticks, cucumber slices, you name it. Really any vegetable would be a good pairing for dipping and serving. Let's make some little slices here with our bell pepper. I like orange and red bell peppers a lot. They're nice and sweet, crunchy. All right. Let's serve some up in our bowl. Okay. There we go, and we can just garnish it with some peppers. I've actually served this recipe to lots of high school kids, elementary school kids, and sometimes they're really not so sure about it, but once they try it, they actually really like it. The peas are nice and sweet, and they just make it really vibrant. So it's pretty tasty. So here we are. Here's our finished product, our green pea guacamole. Again, you can find this on eatfresh.org. I hope that you give it a try, and I hope to see you next time. That's it for now. Thanks.